In this video, you will learn that God do answer prayers. No matter what your circumstances is, God will come through for you if you have no doubt in your heart and you have the faith like a child. Hi, this is Jaap and Crystal Miller, bringing you stories of hope. We hope that we amplify your faith by sharing our personal testimonies with you, as well as other people's stories through video. If you are new here, make sure that you click the subscribe button and all the links that we mentioned in the video. You can also find additional links in the description box below. If you find this video to be an inspiration to you, please leave us a comment in the comment box and we will be too happy to answer all your questions. So let's jump right into it. One of the most beautiful aspects of childhood is the innocence that goes with it. Although we are born in sin, children do come into this world clean and pure of heart. Have you ever seen a child's delight in a ladybird crawling up a blade of grass and a bird flying in the sky? Unfortunately, it doesn't take us long to get caught up in life's challenges and to lose the pure delight we used to have for God's creation. Over time, through our life experience, we start to doubt the spiritual aspect of life and start to believe more in the natural and start to depend on our own abilities. Most children believe whatever you tell them. Children by nature are faith-filled. They believe you without any convincing. And because of this quality, Jesus used to love little children. I would like to read through from Mark 10, verse 13. And they were bringing children to him that he might touch them, and his disciples rebuked them. But when Jesus saw it, he was indignant and said to them, "Let the children come to me, do not hinder them, for to such belong the kingdom of God. Truly I say unto you, whoever does not receive the kingdom of God like a child shall not enter it." And then he took them in his arms and blessed them, laying his hands on them. In 2009 I had a dream, and in my vision I saw an old city burning and people screaming, running down the streets. The next evening I had another dream about a long row of people walking through the desert without food and water, like they were caught off guard and left in a hurry and had no time to prepare. I had a feeling in my spirit that this must be the land of Israel, and this must have something to do with the end times. So I asked the Lord, if this is from you, please make it possible for me to go to Israel before it's all gone one day. But I don't have the money, and you must please provide for the trip. And about 6 to 8 months later, out of the blue, a project came up for work, and a delegation of us had to go to Israel, all expenses paid. I was overwhelmed, for this alone was such a great miracle and an answer to prayer. The trip lasted for about 9 days, of which 1.5 days were set aside for sightseeing and to visit some of the holy places.
Jaap made a very nice video of all his experiences, and Susan was sitting watching with us. She saw how some people got baptized in the Jordan River, and since that September, Claire constantly was asking, when are we going to Israel? When are we going to Israel? Adamant about the fact that she wanted to be baptized in the Jordan River. We initially ignored it, for we thought this is something that would blow over, until she started to seriously pray about it.
Then I went to sit down with her and ask her about this. And she said, "Dad, I really want to be baptized where Jesus was baptized." Chris and I had a look at each other that day. And we said, actually, why not? You know, children usually ask for all kinds of things. They ask for toys, for sweets. They ask for lots of material things. But this is something that she's asking that is quite significant, you know, and she started a very special bond with Jesus. I think not many people actually understand or realize this special bond she has with God. In her household, she used to speak constantly about God and wondered about all different things. When my mother died, she asked so many questions about what happened to her and wanted to know if my mom actually went to Jesus.
Needless to say, we decided, let's take her. Jaap and I both sat down with her and we broke the news to her. She was so excited about this new upcoming adventure, and she took out her children's Bible, starting to write down places she wanted to see. When she reached the story of the Israelites in Egypt and the 7 plagues, we had to draw a line because now it became an expensive and very long trip.
Both Chris and I looked at this list as a final wish list, and for some of her requests looked for us a little bit far-fetched. For instance, she wanted to go to the place where Jonah was spat out on the beach by this giant fish. Nevertheless, I emailed this wish list to some of my Israeli friends, which I actually met on my previous trip. Some of the places she wanted to see wasn't available amongst the normal tours offered. So my friends decided that a normal tour is not going to cut it, and they will make a plan to take her to some of these places.
So we prayed about it, for we did not have the finances. For us as parents, it was a big step of faith. God answered our prayers, and both Japie and I received good bonuses in that July. And on the 1st of September 2011, on our 10th wedding anniversary, we took her on honeymoon with us to Israel. So about the first or second morning that we were there, we went to the markets in Jerusalem, and Japie bought this beautiful, beautiful menorah. If you don't know what it looks like, I'll show you. So this is a menorah. It's with the 7 candles. They use it for Shabbat on Friday afternoons. And then 7 is the Lord's perfect number, so that's why there's 7 candles. And then we went to the place where they say the Lord was crucified, and Japie was taking video, as he always does.
Dit is vol foto en dit is waar hulle Jesus dood gemaak het en hy was op die kruis. Golgotha en dis waar Jesus op die kruis gesterf het en hulle het allerhande goeders met hom gedoen en dit is so lekker om hier te wees binne die kerk om te sien waar Jesus was. Dis waar hulle Jesus neergelê het wanneer hy dood was en hulle het hom tussen doeke toegedraai en hulle was baie hard.
And then he put the menorah in a bag. He just put it down for 1 second to take video, and when he wanted to pick it up, it disappeared. So that was quite alarming and devastating, because in a holy place like that, you don't expect people to grab your stuff and run.
Yes, so and I was so upset. It's something that I always wanted. It was really beautiful, this brand new menorah, and actually somebody had audacity to take it. And we actually left out, and we actually run out the street. Maybe somebody picked up the package. We were walking to see if we can maybe see somebody with this orange bag, but it's no. And we went a few times up and down. And then, we went back to the church and we decided to pray about it.
So son said, but it won't be lost. We'll find it again. We'll just have to pray about it.
I remember.
Yeah, and then we all prayed.
Yeah, we was by this place where they said Jesus' body was laid down. That's right. It's great. Yeah, so we prayed about it, and then in Nazareth, we went actually the next day. I think it's the next day to Nazareth. And our friend Yuda took me with as well. And then I walked past some of the places. There's one place where Jesus, where he was a carpenter. And I saw in the shop window exactly the same menorah. And I said, that is exactly the same menorah. And I just wanted to buy it. And Yuda just told me, Japie, don't mope about it, forget about it. You know what I'm saying? These guys are going to rip you off. So I was quite really sad about my menorah, and I think also it's more about the act of the faith. I told God, please don't do it for me. Don't give the menorah back. It's a material thing, actually about it, but it's about for Susan that I want to teach her the principle that God always comes through for prayer. Lord, if you don't do it for me, at least do it for her, because it will really establish her faith in it as well. And it was funny. I'm actually just going to skip a few chapters because we'll get to the baptism. and that is by the end of the trip. Funny enough, we visited another friend of mine in Israel, and we had dinner that evening.
We had dinner that
Yeah,
evening,
and he came out with his bag.
Just
and
as
said-
we left.
Yeah, just as we left.
Yeah.
So, oh, somebody picked us up in Jerusalem, and it was exactly the same menorah, and I think bought it when I heard as a gift and to give it to me. But I was so grateful to God. It didn't cost me a cent to get it back, but the greatness just to prove to my daughter once again that if you could trust God, He will always provide. And yes, we got it way back in a different way, but it was just awesome to actually.
The principle remains the
same.
same.
That God
Yeah.
answers
Yeah.
prayers. That's a big thing. Yeah. Finally, the big day arrived, and because we were touring Israel for about 7 days, I think.
Yeah.
And every day she's asking, Dad, when I'm going to get baptized? Dad, when I'm going to get baptized? And now finally, this is the big day that she actually get baptized in Jordan River.
By 'n plek waar ek gaan gedoop word en ek gaan lekker goeders doen en ek gaan gedoop word waar Jesus gedoop was en dan gaan ek lekker koel uit die water kom, dan gaan my hare so nat.
And then we had arranged for a priest to baptize her, and he just like disappeared. And then we started looking for somebody to please just baptize our child and whatever. And we saw this guy. He's a Seventh-day Adventist.
I quickly have to chip in with this one.
Yeah.
There was actually a guy there also baptizing people, but like 7 times underwater, and and I said, it actually looked like he was drowning the people.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and Susan said, that guy's not touching me, whatever you do as well. And then we started to pray about this guy.
Yeah,
We said that,
yeah.
Yes, you could.
Okay, and then we found very, very gentle, beautiful man. It's a church group, and he took his church group, obviously. I think they're from
America,
America,
yeah.
And then we asked him, please, can you baptize our daughter? She's a Seventh-day Adventist. She was 7 years old. It was the 7th of September.
So the perfect seven,
the
triple
perfect
seven.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are very, very blessed to have been able to find him. He's very gentle with her. It was so funny. Susan had grommets in her ears, and she prayed about that as well.
Yes.
To close it.
But she was always scared to go underneath water. And we were concerned about this as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? When he took her into the water, she had this unbelievable
Calmness.
peace
Yeah.
above it. So we got dressed up in this little white dress that you will see on the video, and walking water. It was an extremely hot day that day. It happened. Yeah. So he took her by the hand, and
Yeah, and then he baptized her, and this is another miracle, and I'm jumping the story maybe a bit, but when we got back to South Africa, we took her again to have her ears checked, and it's closed.
Yeah, the
So
grommets.
yes.
She had big grommets. She had
Yeah.
multiple times grommets. She really battled with
and
the ears.
it was closed, so that's another blessing.
All right. Her name is Susan, and she comes from South Africa. Is that right?
Yes.
And she wants to start her new life in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So she asked us if we can baptize her. It's our privilege, especially
Amen.
for me.
Thank
Amen.
I'm a minister of the Seventh-day Adventist Church,
Yes.
and we come from USA.
Okay.
And we're going to join this moment, special moment, with Susan. She is 7 years old. 7 añitos tiene Susan.
Amén.
Y ha pedido ser bautizada en Jesús. Así que nosotros vamos a orar. And we're going to close our eyes and bow our head. And we're going to pray. After that, we're going to baptize Susan. All right? Let's bow our head. Vamos a orar juntos. Todos. Padre Eterno, dear God, this moment is a special moment for the life of Susan and her parents. We want to ask you a special blessing for her.
Amen.
Dear Lord, she wants to be baptized in this river, the same as you did many years ago. She's a young lady, but she loves Jesus.
Amen.
She wants to be a Christian.
Amen.
And by her decision and parents' decision, they came so far just for this special moment, me as the minister of the Seventh-day Adventist Church baptize her in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Amen.
Trek toe jou neusie, sussie.
In any case, so he baptized her and we asked her, how do you feel about this? How do you feel now? You know, because it's been waiting for this day forever. And she sat there and she said, obviously it's cool because it's very hot there, and she was in the cool water and everything. And she said, I am free.
Hoe was je doop? Vertel wat die oom jou gedoen het.
Dit was lekker en hy het my baie mooi gedoop. Hy het net een keer my onder die water gesit en hy het vir my gesing en dit was baie mooi en ek het baie van dit gehou.
Nou sê my, hoe voel dit nou met die Jesus nou in jou hartjie?
Dit voel baie lekker. Dit voel of ek vry is.
For a little child of 7 to say, I am free, was just beyond comprehension.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Susan Miller. I'm 17 years old, and yes, now today it is 10 years later, and I'm the little girl that you have seen in the video, and I still believe in God. I really think He is the best. He is the one that started everything in our lives. He started everything on earth, and without Him nothing could have happened. And I still believe that He's the one that makes a change, and if you want to see a change in the world, you need to ask Him first, because He knows what's best for you and what needs to happen in your life.
In closing, I would just love to say that believe like a child. Don't overcomplicate stuff in life. Life gets to you, yes it does, but be patient, be kind, love, and believe. It's
I totally
It's
agree
not
with Christa.
complicated.
The thing is also about miracles. Miracles is not natural. You know, it's not come natural to you. It's actually sometimes against your what you feel as well. And basically, and that's what God wants. And that's exactly what faith is. Faith is to believe in things that you cannot see, and afterwards to see the result of what you believed. I think that's a big thing that we like trying. So keep it simple. I think that's the most important thing. And really, I think sometimes we just have to believe like a child, like Christa says.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and every day is a miracle. Every day is a miracle. Yeah.
So this brings us to the end. If you like the video, please like and subscribe to our channel, where we will share more stories and testimonies going forward as well. If you would actually love to hear from you, if you be so kind as leave us a comment and tell us what God's done in your life, we will be actually so great to hear from you. See you in the next video.